Welcome to This Week in Westerly with your hosts, Ben Barber and Michael Niemeyer. Hello.
Hey everyone,
Welcome to This Week in Westerly. My name is Ben Barber.
I'm Michael Niemeyer.
Mike, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
We're going to pretend, okay? We're going to pretend for a second. I want to restart that.
Okay.
We're still, this is live, but I want to restart that. When you see yourself, I want you to introduce the show. You ready? 3,
Sure.
2, 1.
Everyone, welcome to This Week in Westerly. This is my co-host, Ben Barber.
Yeah, I want you to change that too. All right, ready? This is your producer.
Okay.
This is my producer, Ben Barber, because Mr. Niemeyer, I think that the training wheels need to come off, my friend. You are putting all of the work into this show every week. You are lining up these amazing guests. You are doing the research. You are doing all of these amazing things. So I will join you at the beginning of every episode for the news and for a little chit chat. I will interject some questions along the way, but I want to focus on making the show that you've put together the best it can possibly be from behind the scenes. So this is officially your show. It is now This Week in Westerly with Michael Niemeyer.
You are too kind. You have put in a lot of work on this too, but I appreciate that. So here we go. Let's go.
All right, what do we got for the news?
Well, I actually wanted to share the town council is discussing ways to commemorate 9/11. The 20-year anniversary is coming up, and our hearts go out to everyone who was touched by that tragic event. I think it's wonderful that the town council wants to commemorate it in some way. They're going back and forth on whether to do something at the Westerly Pops, which does happen to be on September 11th, or to have a parade, or to do some combination of the two. They've identified a point person. So if you want to contact this point person, it's Police Chief Sean Lacey. We have his email address here. He's the point person for if you have any ideas, if you have any notions that you want to contribute about how we can commemorate this tragic anniversary as a town. I think it'd be a good way to come together in solemnity. Go ahead and reach out to him with any ideas you have.
That's fantastic. And it's a big anniversary.
It is.
Very nice. So what else do we have in the news for this week in Westerly?
Well, I don't have any other news. I did have a wonderful event that I went to. I guess you could say my daughter and I went out maskless to get ice cream.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, we went to Dairy Queen and got the Girl Scout Thin Mints Blizzards. I don't know if you know, but there is an overabundance of Girl Scout cookies in this country right now because they weren't purchased during the pandemic. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So you can get for a limited time Girl Scout flavored Blizzards filled with Girl Scout cookies at Dairy Queen. They're delicious. I bought one for everyone in my house at their request because it's gonna be one of those things where like years from now people are gonna be like, do you remember when there were the Girl Scout cookie blizzards? Those were so good. Whatever happened to those? And it just coincidentally happens to be because we have a glut of Girl Scout cookies in this country.
All right, good to know. This is why I keep you around, Mike, to keep me updated on all the news in Westerly and the National Girl Scout cookie overabundance. I was going to say shortage, but surplus. The surplus of Girl Scout cookies across America. We have you have a very special guest today. Let's get right to it.
Yes, today we're talking.
Yours, my friend.
Thank you. Today we're talking to Nakia Killam. She's the assistant shelter manager at the Westerly Animal Shelter. Nakia, come on out.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Quiet today, I'll take it.
Oh, good. Good to hear. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Personally, you mean just me?
Yeah, just you.
Nakia, 39 years old, married for 19 years this year to my lovely husband, Tim Kellum. He's a townie too. We have three beautiful kids, Brent, Tony, and Ryder, almost 18, 13, and 5 years old. So my three sons. We, really just, average family, do our thing, work hard. Been doing the animal business for roughly, this will be my 7th year here, which is great. I did the retail thing for a while, but kind of burnt out, but came into here 10 hours a week and worked my way up to where I am right now, which is great.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you. I wanted to ask how your son Ryder's doing. For those who don't know, he has spina bifida.
Yes.
Yes, and I was just wondering if you could share with us an update on how he's doing.
Sure. I'm sure a lot of the town knows that there was a fundraiser last October for him. It was the hashtag Keep Ryder Riding. Actually, we kept that hashtag, believe it or not, and it's actually, excuse that, it's actually on the back of each of our vehicles because we feel so touched from it. I think everybody knew we have the van, the wheelchair accessible van, which is great. It's like a limousine to him. He thinks it's great. So that's one thing. And we actually have some good news from 2 weeks ago. He was at the doctor's office, or spina bifida clinic is what we call it, where you see each doctor that's a part of his team for roughly 15 minutes, and they get an overview. We ask questions, and we get an update of a couple of things he had a couple of weeks ago, which was an x-ray of his hips and spine and an ultrasound of his kidney. So overall, he got good diagnosis on that, which is great. His hips look good. His back looks good. We got him fitted for new AFOs, which are basically braces for his legs to keep him a little bit straighter. Mind you, nostalgia brings in. He picked out Marvin the Martian for his character, which is brilliant. He doesn't know that, but it's brilliant to us. So otherwise, he got a great diagnosis, positive from his urologist. So the urologist said that you don't really see too many kids go in the positive direction, and that's what he's doing. So we can't ask for anything else than that. And mind you, he's a chatterbox now. 6 months ago, he'd get the shyness, but he's great now.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Well, thank you for sharing the update. And thank you before the show for sharing some advice as another parent going through something kind of similar on ways to handle the doctors. That was a nice thing for you to do.
We're the advocate. That's what it is. We're the advocate for them. So
thank you. Well, I've brought you on today to talk about the animal shelter. Why don't you, for anyone who doesn't know, tell us a little bit about the Westerly Animal Shelter.
Okay, so we're located on Larry Hirsch Lane. We've been in this new building for approximately 11 years now. Stand Up for Animals built this building, so they own the building. We, as a shelter, we take in strays and surrenders. Now with that, we also do adoptions and etc. So right now with strays, we animal control obviously gets calls or people bring in strays that they have not located their home or found them on the side of the road or anything that they feel that doesn't have a home at that time. So with strays, we have to wait 10 days in order to come forward. Or we put them on social media or out there saying, do you know me, kind of thing, through our Facebook page. So social media is a big thing for us. The surrenders are the other part, which is kind of an emotional part on both ends, because we see people who can't, either take care of their animals anymore, or situations have changed and we take them in for them. But it has to be from the town of Westerly only. So when people come in from other towns, I don't like to say no, but that's just how the town works, for the ordinance, I should say. With that, we do house cats and dogs mainly. And we have the occasional little critters, which are guinea pigs, hamsters, birds, not exotics like parakeets, cockatiels, stuff like that. We've had our guinea pigs, and we've had our rats, and which people, you get over a little bit. But we've had our bearded dragons, we've had hedgehogs, we've had a crazy amount of different things, which is actually great knowledge and stuff. So all in all, that's what we take in, and we do our best to evaluate, vet them, spay, neuter, and any additional needs as needed per animal. Each animal is different.
Oh wow, that's a lot of services and a lot of different types of animals. You mentioned rats. I have a friend, Phil. He grew up with a rat named Liza that could play fetch across the yard. They're a lot. They make better pets than you'd imagine.
They're smart, and that's all I'm hearing. I think it's just, for me, it's the tail. Don't get me wrong. But they are very smart. You can kind of tote them anywhere you want. They want to hang out with you. They're very people oriented, which is great. They're just not for some people, but still, it doesn't take away from how we take care of them here. So.
Oh, wonderful. So in 2019, manager Arthur Smith said that there is a 90% adoption rate at the shelter. How's that held up throughout the pandemic?
Well, it's maintained. That's okay. If anything, it's not necessarily gone up. It's been more particular about it. The pandemic changed a lot, as everybody knows. We didn't shut down for a good chunk of time, maybe for a month or so. So we had to make do with that. So it was kind of lonely, me being in the shelter alone, but I made videos. We did shout outs on Facebook. We did, then we started to do appointment only, mask up, come in, we can dedicate time for you. If you see something that you like on Facebook, that was our only really means to do so at that time. Or Pet Finder was another one. So appointments were a blessing because we could get the animals out still. And our wonderful volunteers stepped up to the plate to help us show, especially dogs, to show them outside of the shelter, to walk them how, it was just crazy how everybody kind of came together during that time. In scary times, because it's like, how do you adopt an animal when you have to become close to a person or have to talk to a person? And so it really brought out a lot in our shelter and kept us together. Our network came a lot closer, but our adoption rate, it's still maintained. And dogs, they went out the door, and of course everybody was nervous about when this lifts or how this lifts, will a lot of them come back? And so far, knock on wood, I'm not going to say it, but everything's been kosher.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Knock on wood.
Right. Where?
Here. Oh boy. Is it still by appointment only for folks to come in?
No, it's not. And I'm grateful for people to even call and ask, which is great. And people still hesitate when they come to the door. It's not by appointment only. I do let people know if there's a lot of people in one particular room. I was time limiting, but not as much anymore, because we don't require masks if you're vaccinated, etc. We do sanitize still, but we keep it clean no matter what. So COVID or not COVID, we've always been sanitary here. So to see anything outside the cage, especially dogs, is by appointment only, because that requires a different handle on them. I just don't want to throw you in a room with a dog you don't know. It doesn't quite work the way I want it to. Cats are a little bit easier of a turnaround, but it also, each cat is different too. If you come in with a small child and you want this particular cat and it doesn't work with kids, obviously I'll say no. So each cat and each dog have their own personalities that we tend to, if needed, by appointment. So no appointment needed to come in and just browse at the time right now.
Okay. But if you're really going to go in and get a good sense of an animal, you should make an appointment.
Right. But you can come in to do that also.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Alrighty. Well, speaking of coming in to check out the animals, what animals are available there right now?
So I'm sure everybody's itching to know. It is kitten season. It is kitten season. Springtime is here. Summertime is here now. So right now I'm working off certain lists that I've formulated to the amount of kittens that I have. I let people know for them to call me on Fridays. That's when we vet everybody, and that's when everybody becomes available for adoption. So I'm gonna throw that out there because I know everybody has a question about the kitten part. So when it comes to our animals right now, we have 4 animals up for adoption for dogs. One's name is Daisy. She is a Beagle Lab mix, 3 years old. She is a little dog reactive right now for what we've seen. Probably not great with cats and probably older kids. She's a cutie. You can go on Pet Finder to see her. I just don't have pictures right in front of me. I wish I did. I probably should have done that. That's one of them. And our other dog, Zeus, he's a 7-month-old Shepherd Hound mix. Definitely a lot of interest in him. He's beautiful. He's brown and black. Which, cross fingers, we have actually a meet and greet with someone tomorrow. We're gonna leave it at that. And then actually, I'll do a highlight now, Mike, if you're okay with that, since I'm talking about available.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
I actually want to highlight 2 animals, 2 dogs of ours that came in. The owner unfortunately passed away, and they were brought in to us, and their names are Molly and Harley. Molly is a yellow lab, and Harley is a German pointer. Beautiful animals. Molly is 7 and Harley is 13. We really want to push for them to go together. They're really big dogs. I'll show you a quick picture. I have a picture of them, if you don't mind, Mike. I'm just going to kind of flash it.
Absolutely.
So that's them.
Oh.
Molly's right here, and this is Harley. Okay, beautiful. I mean, bonded. I know it's a lot to ask for to keep them together, but they need each other just as much as they needed their owner. There will be some health related stuff with them. Molly is overweight. She's 134 pounds for a lab. That's too much. So we're seeing some kind of health stuff, nothing detrimental, something that can be not necessarily fixed, but maintained.
Okay.
And being 7, that's in her court also. And Harley is the German pointer. He's 13. He has some hip and he has a club foot, but it doesn't prevent him from running. Trust me, we've had him out there running. He's fantastic. But they need each other, so we want to keep them together. But again, if you want more information, come or call. I'm more than happy to go over that with the right people. It's going to have to be the right people to take this on.
Okay.
So that's my big highlight on that. With quickly with cats, I have a couple cats. They're about 3 and above right now. Tuxedos, they're black and white. It kind of, with their personalities, it kind of depends on what you want. I'll let you know if that matches your situation. Because cats are a little bit easier to go over than dogs, just because they're more independent and they want us. But when we leave the house, they're like, okay, all right, I can go about my day. So again, we do have cats available, but I'm more than happy to any inquiries can call or email or however you want to do that.
All right. Well, if you're interested in any of those animals, Molly or Harley in particular, you mentioned there, we have the information scrolling down the bottom of the screen. You can also visit the website, put in a call, or just come in. Also, did you say Daisy was a lab beagle mix?
Yes. She's a cutie.
I had a dog that was that exact mix. It was a fantastic dog. So maybe check out Daisy too if you can get down to the shelter.
Yeah, talk her up. Right. That's what
Everyone. Oh boy. Well, could you walk us through what the process is like for adopting an animal from your shelter?
Sure. There's 2 different processes given, obviously, a dog or a cat. Or yes, we'll throw in the little critters there. So with a cat, sometimes on Pet Finder you'll find your particular one, so I'll get a phone call or not about a particular cat. So you come in, You meet this cat. We have an acclimation room specifically for small animals, specifically cats. You come in, you meet them, you see if there's a connection, and I'll let you know if it matches what you gave me on an interest form you fill out. I look at it, look at their profile, and make sure it fits before I let them go home. With that, if the person's situation has to be this: if you rent an apartment or a house, I need landlord permission to let me know that you can have a cat, dog, etc. in your home. This just knows sometimes they're limited to breed, to how many. So I just want to be safe, and I don't want them to come back, obviously. If there's any other animals in the home, I require a rabies certificate or something that states that they're up to date on their rabies. If it's a rabbit or a guinea pig or something, I don't need that. Of course, I want them to be healthy. It would be dog, cat, or ferret in your home that requires a rabies shot. That's for cats, and it's $100 cash or check for that. And usually cats can go home same day, next day, depending on how the conversation goes, and depending on how ready the person is to do that. Not a lot of people are ready for same day, but again, a conversation is what we do, and that's how we get a feel for the people. Now for the dogs, again, you come in, you see, I want that particular dog. Again, it's an interest form. I look at that situation, compare it to the dogs, make sure it matches. If it does, I conversate with my handlers, and those handlers are people who dedicate that chunk of time, which are my volunteers, and I can't say enough about that. Take their time with the people who are interested and go out and walk them, answer any questions, tell them about their quirks, tell them about what they can and can't do. And then those people go home and process what they just heard. Of course, we want to hear the next day that they want to do it again. So it's with that, that's where the appointment is key. So we're not just throwing it in a room, like I said before. And if it all works out, then oh, beautiful. There we are. And if it all works out, then we do a couple more depending on the dog. Each dog is different. Each dog's personality is different. So that's Daisy. That's the beagle. She's adorable. And at the end of the day, if they feel, or the person interested feels that it's not their dog, it's okay. The dog was exposed to new people. That's all we really want. And then the person interested knows what kind of dog they're really looking for. Because through a cage does nothing. Because the dog could have cage rage. The dog could have, an emotional anxiety. The dog could look, aggressive. It's not them. It's just who they are. And if you were put behind, what else to get attention? What else would you do? How would you do it?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we go with that. And it's not a personal thing with cats or dogs. If we don't pick you, we obviously want the animal to go out and not come back in the most pleasant way.
Well, it sounds like you really go for a personalized approach to make sure that it's a right fit.
Right.
And that's so nice. I'm sure it's a wonderful process for the dogs to just get to know new people. A bunch of them get socialized a little bit.
Right.
Even if you don't get picked, it sounds like it's a fun process to go down and get to know a dog.
Right. At least we hope to make it a good experience. So you come back, even if it isn't the right fit, that we take the time with you. And just because we didn't send the dog home with you, we got to know you, and we still have your contact. And we try to hook you up with the best fit. And we may not get to you, but keep calling. Hey, I filled out this, or hey, we see a lot of people. If you keep coming back, and say, I really like what I've heard, or I really like how you treated me last time, it makes us feel good. So that's kind of at the end of the day, that makes us feel good.
Alrighty. Now, how is this? How is the animal shelter funded? Is it through donations?
Yes, it's through fundraising and donations. Us as a shelter, Pound, we're Dog Pound. We cannot take monetary donations. It's just how it works. We're not a 501c3 organization. We can take product donations, cat food products, dog food products, all that stuff. Bedding, towels, all that. We can take that because it immediately assists our animals. We have two organizations, Stand Up for Animals, which a lot of people have heard of, and Friends of Westerly Animal Shelter, again, which a lot of people have heard of, that do a lot of fundraising behind, not necessarily behind closed doors, but you've heard of certain things like the golf tournament that Stand Up for Animals does. We did a trivia game thing right before COVID. Unfortunately, you probably didn't hear a lot about us last year because of this, but we've put out a lot of things for these organizations to help our animals. And a lot of people are like, why does it go to you? Does it go right to you? Yes, it comes right to me. It's just how things work in the town as far as fundraising. You know, like our adoption fees and stuff, that goes right to us because that's town. But those organizations help with medical, help with anybody, even in the public for needs, help for medical. I mean, the biggest thing in here is that we're blessed with veterinarians or the veterinarian on staff, but we're not always funded for that. So, so with these organizations, the big one is medical.
Okay. Is that Dr. Turco?
He actually does, well, I'll promote it too. He does a wellness clinic on Thursdays, and that is for public. He used to do it once upon a time for the shelter. It changed hands to Dr. Kathy Moore, who works for VCA Animal Hospital, Turco Animal Hospital now, but she is our shelter vet on Fridays.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, what's the reason for this arrangement? Is it because it's a town organization, it's a government organization, and therefore can't accept cash donations? Is that the, I don't know if you can share the reason why there's this process, but.
I think it's how we're labeled. I believe it's just the monetary part is the way it's the way it's processed. I'm not going to go into it because I can't say 100%, and I don't want to get the wording wrong. But all I know is that because we're labeled as a shelter or as a pound or a municipal shelter, actually I could put it in those terms. We just can't take the money donations.
Gotcha. Okay. So the people who can take the money donations, for the people listening, that's Stand Up for Animals and Friends of the Westerly Animal Shelter.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and you can do that in-house too. I can take those, and yes, they do it directly to them. It does come full circle back to us. It's just the way the process works.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if you want to donate to Westerly Animal Shelter, don't donate directly to them. Donate to Stand Up for Animals or Friends of Westerly Animal Shelter. I'm sure you can find them by looking them up. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Those were my questions. Is there anything you'd like to share with us before I let you go?
Oh, goodness. I mean, we've covered a lot. Again, I thank everybody, I guess, for just being, patient in this time with us, and just being good advocates for the animals right now. And I guess just in general, I think, I just hope that, I just hope everybody's in a good place animal-wise, and, and if we don't get to you, we'll get to you. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. But again, I think, without the community, without the volunteers, without everybody coming forward, we wouldn't be here. And that's really what we push for, is just community outreach.
This is a wonderful community, and thank you so much for all you do for the animals. And on a personal note, I hope the community continues to rally behind your family, because it's a beautiful family. Thank you for.
And thank you for sharing with me, Mike. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Shall do. All right. Hope the sun comes out.
Me too. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Well, that was wonderful to talk to Nakia and to hear all about the animals that are available here in town. I know I got excited when I heard about Daisy, as well as Molly and her companion. They seem like wonderful dogs. What do you think?
I am gonna go upstairs after this and try to convince my roommates to get a dog, and
Yeah.
and they're gonna say no again, and I'm gonna say fine, get out of the house, leave the house, and then I will adopt a dog myself. You big meanies. Um, that's what I'm gonna do. That was wonderful and insightful, and thank you very much for all of that. I know that it clicked when she said that her husband was Tim, um, who the family was, and such wonderful people, and of course she is, because look at the amazing work that she's doing at the Westerly Animal Shelter, and it was really nice to hear about all of the time and care
Yeah.
that I didn't know for a really long time. I did not know that so much time and care went into adopting the process of adoption for an animal. I thought that it was like you go to the shelter and you're like, yeah, I'll take those two. And then they're like, okay, thank you for getting these off of our hands. And you know what I mean? Like that's kind of that's the image that you have of like an animal shelter before you know anything about it.
Mhm.
So
Like
I
you're
love
going, yeah, like you're
like
going to a deli to order a sandwich.
exactly, and like and that their goal is like get these away from us. You know what I mean? Like get these, and so the fact that she is so lovely, and the animal shelter is so lovely, and the work that they're doing, rehabilitating these animals, finding them the perfect homes, it's just spectacular, and I love what you're doing, Mike, because you are giving a bunch of these organizations that are doing tremendous work, um, like the animal shelter, like the library, like the Johnny Cake Center, one more aspect to share everything that they're doing, and and almost letting them, like, I wish that they would brag on themselves a little bit more.
No.
Like I wish that these organizations would brag on themselves a little bit more, because they're doing such wonderful and important work in the community,
Mhm.
and since they're uh pretty humble, all of them, and are just focused on doing the good work for the community. I'm happy that you have created this platform to do it, to do a little bragging on their behalf.
Every time I contact someone to see if they want to be on the show, the way I phrase it is, I want to spread your message for you. Because, like you said, I mean, think about this animal shelter. All the work they put in to getting a dog adopted, and they still, doing it so carefully, not just rushing them out the door, and they still have a 90% adoption rate. That is an astounding statistic that I think, it kind of got glossed over in there, but is indicative of so much hard work, and I'm so glad that we got to highlight it here today. It's good work. Thank you to Nakia and everyone there.
Thank you, Nakia. This show should be called like Extraordinary Humans Doing Extraordinary Things that just happen to be in the same zip code as you.
Mhm.
Because it's wonderful, and when you have your head down, living your own life and not thinking about the town around you, sometimes you can miss the all of the all of the wonderful things in the community, and they are certainly one of those bright spots. So
So many
thank you for that.
so many wonderful things in this community. And if you know something that's going on, or if you want to share something that's going on, feel free to email me. I'm at michael.t.niemeyer@gmail.com. I'd love to highlight some more of the wonderful things happening in this town. There's no end to them. I think this weekend there's even a play, Cyrano de Bergerac, going on in Wilcox Park. I wish I had the time on that, but go ahead and look it up, because there's always something happening in Westerly. There's always something good being done by the good people here, and I'm just so glad that I get to share it with everyone on this show. It's really been the honor of the year. And thank you, Ben, for helping me put it together. And
You're
thank
welcome, Mike. Thank you.
you, absolutely, and thank you all for watching.
Yeah, this is your show now. Send us off, my friend.
Well, everyone, I hope that you all have a wonderful week in Westerly. Be good to each other, be good to yourself, and be good to Westerly. You take care.